Time Magazine as one of the 100 best inventions. That is, Farmerline has been named as one of the world's best inventions for 2019. Like, that is the sort of thing that we can do. That's the sort of thing that African and Ghanaian brilliance can do all around the world. And it's such a pleasure to have you here today. So we're going to be talking about Agri. It's one of the biggest spaces we have at the moment, and more specifically, what it takes to drive more young people into that particular industry. To tell us more and to moderate the next session, of course, my very good friend, co-founder and CEO of a company that has just been named Time Magazine as one of the best inventions for 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us together once again for Aloysius.
What we are here to talk about today is how to make money from farming, right? Like, we talk about agriculture, but everybody talks about minimum living income from farming. And today, the whole conversation, we have like a rock star panel from Francis from Agro Center to a minister to Eugene and to Eric. All these guys are doing cool stuff, and then we want to talk about it. But before then, I want to take a quick poll. How many people want to make money? How many people want to create wealth for themselves and their families? I just some people that want to make money there. All right, cool. So you're all good. And how many people consider themselves young or youth? All right, cool. So just like, looking at the data right now, there's a strong correlation between people who want to make money and people who are young. But then I also realize that all people want to make money regardless of age. So the conversation is going to be about that. All right, cool. So, my name is Aloysius from Farmerline. We are working really hard to create the Amazon for farmers. We use digital tools to connect farmers to input, and we train them to farm well, produce more food and sell more food and make more money. But today the focus is going to be on the business opportunity that is in agriculture. The market is valued to be about $1 trillion by 2035. 1 trillion. I can't imagine how big that is, but it sounds like a lot of money. But then also, around that opportunity also lies a problem. Africa, we are one of the youngest continents in the world. We are the youngest continent in the world, right? We need to create about 350 million jobs, by 2030. And agriculture remains one of the opportunities to create jobs and also create wealth at the same time. Let me give you some quick opportunities. Chocolate. Ghana is the second largest producer of cocoa, right? Cocoa creates a value of $100 billion every year, and we only capture less than 3% of that value. About 1.6% of our land only 1.6% of the land in Ghana is irrigated, and there's an opportunity to bring in a lot of irrigation schemes worth $230 million. So if you're thinking about how do I make money outside the farm, you can make money in cocoa, you can make money in irrigation. But just to bring the conversation down, I want to invite my panelists. All right, so we just go in very quickly. So the first person, Francis, tell us a little bit from your perspective. What, I don't want to call it challenges. What opportunities are in providing services for farmers and also the various stakeholders.
Hello, can everybody hear me? Yes, my name is Francis Agri, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Agri Center. So mainly at Agri Center, what we do is we've built a technology platform that gives farmers connectivity to access to markets and then access to finance. So in terms of the opportunities that is in the agricultural sector, I would say is enormous, but it doesn't come easy. We've seen agriculture being neglected over time. We've seen people who even complete agricultural colleges end up working in the banks because nobody wants to get their hands dirty. So we've left agriculture mainly for people that we think, one, are no good in the society, they have a lot of education. But then before everybody came in, everybody had breakfast. I'm sure everybody's looking out for lunch. So the lunch and the breakfast did not come from the banks. It did not come from the schools. It came from the farmer. But then we don't want to work in Agri, but we want to eat what Agri produces. The opportunities are, I would say, in Ghana and Africa is enormous. It presents an opportunity for young people to come into this space to be able to create solutions, one from the even agribusiness perspective to the agri-tech. So the whole value chain is extremely long. You can find solutions along every place that you want. It could be the production side, it could be even post-harvest management, It could be even training farmers. It could be, there's a whole lot of opportunities that is left untapped for young people to tap into. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Francis. Honorable, we want to hear from you. You are in Parliament now. In fact, you have to go to Parliament in the next, hour to influence policy. You have your own agribusiness. In my opinion, you're creating wealth. You're making money. And then also, you also taught it, right? So can you tell us from your experience, from both being a professor and being in Parliament now, and also a business owner in agribusiness, can you tell us some of the challenges and opportunities that we have in agriculture today?
Yeah, Aloysius, thank you. My name is Kwesi Etubondi. I'm the member of Parliament for Kintampo North. We've go to the constituency. I'm called Akuafo Adanfo. That's farmer's friend. As you said, I'm agribusiness and rural development advisor by profession, but now I'm a policy maker. I've actually practiced as, let's say, extension service with British American Tobacco, 9 years supporting farmers to make money from the tobacco industry. Actually, we were selling what I call smoke. That's the whole value chain from the seed to the smoke value chain. And from there, I taught as a university lecturer, agribusiness in Methodist University. Then I decided I have to implement what I speak. So, as you just said, I've established Sky 3 Investment Limited in Kintampo, dealing with 4 commodities. Mango, that is linked to blue skies. We have maize linked to Yedent. Rice is also being developed, and cassava, which is going into high quality cassava, flour, and gari for the school feeding program. I see there are a lot of opportunities in agriculture, and also let me take the opportunity to thank the organizers of this fair, that is AB 2020, and the sponsors. I'm actually impressed what I heard. Thank you. I'm actually impressed what I heard from the young generation. I'm 50 years and above, and I thought there is no hope for Ghana agriculture, but from what I'm hearing, I'm very hopeful, and I encourage the youth. Looking at the opportunities, the topical issue now is, let's say, rice in this country. This country imports rice to the tune of about $1.3 billion. That is huge opportunity I'm seeing. $1.3 billion of rice, it means there is that market in this country. Why are we not tapping into it? And the issue is more of technology. If you look at the agronomy aspect, I think a lecturer from Ashasi said the right thing. We normally, as policy, we bring in technology, the tractors, but the knowledge to operate the tractors is not here. So if you look at a tractor from the foreign country, that's the second hand, it's about 20 plus years, but the engines are intact when they come to us. But when we import tractors, lack of knowledge, the tractors by 5 years is condemned. This is an area where the youth can actually go into it, because if you are planting rice, you need good land preparation. If you need tractor to do the planting so that you can get the right plant population. If you don't get it right from the beginning, you are down. No rice bear gravels, but because when the farmers are harvesting, there's no technology like combine harvesters, threshers to thresh, and when you are threshing even the rice, at what speed are they setting the threshes? If the speed is too high, you break the grain before you mill. When you are milling, the ladies will tell you they want long grain. Is that not it? And so if you don't have knowledge, if you don't put technology into the milling, where we just pound the rice and others, that is where the value is. So in Ghana, our rice demand is 1.2 million tons, valued about 2.4 million United States dollars. This huge opportunity. You made mention of cocoa, another opportunity. So as I sit here as a policymaker, as I told, I'm rushing to go and make sure we are developing a 3-crop development belt where mango has been left out. Mango, for instance, have a export earning of about 1.3 billion, which Ghana can tap into it. So as a a farmer, agriculturist, and a policymaker have to make sure Ghana legalize mango as a crop for value creation. So I look at agriculture, that is where, if you are talking about job, it's not just job, but this will be well-paid job if we get the youth to come on board and put the hard, the technology. I don't know when of late when they talk, it's more of the IT. But in Agri, we need both the hard technology, maybe say the mechanical and the IT. Yeah. So the rice, for instance, I'm looking forward for somebody to come out how we can use drones to scare the birds, so that we can, yes. And there's issue there, child labor is involved because of the children have to go and chase the birds away. So if you can introduce technology, the IT technology I'm talking about it, birds and rodents, that is what the youth, people will pay you for providing that service, both mechanical and IT service. So I want to emphasize that there's much money and more job in agri-value chain for Ghana and that of Africa in general. Thank you.
Wow, that's so powerful to hear. Like, so basically, what you're saying, just a quick summary, you are saying that technologies in agriculture is more than digital tools like mobile apps. There is also room for like farm mechanization. You're also saying that policy also has a huge role to play. For me, I learned that when I saw what was happening in the US, when they got a new president, and just by one signature, like someone can undo all the good that has been done. So like what I've learned from that is that you can't innovate your way out of like to solve all the problems, but we have to work with policymakers like yourself to ensure that we create lasting change in our country. So thanks for sharing that. That's really cool. Eugene, tell us why you started this organization and the problem that you saw.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Eugene Ofoyesiedu, co-founder and CTO of Quedex. Yeah, so at Quedex, what we do is to allow everyday people, individuals, to have a share of the value of agriculture. And then how we do that is to allow individuals like you invest in smallholder farmers and get some returns after a specified period. So the inspiration came from the challenge itself. We have a lot of lands, arable lands in Ghana, and then currently, as it stands, our farmers are cultivating just 40% of the lands. So what happens to the rest of the 60%? And then this is due to lack of finance. We realize that farmers don't have enough finance to expand, to grow what they want to grow, expand their farms to the potentials they can do. So we created a platform to allow people who have disposable income, who wants to make extra money. Like you said, we want to make extra money, we want to make wealth. So we allow these people to invest in these smallholder farmers and then make some extra income after a specified period. Yeah. So to the challenges, to the challenges and opportunities, when we scan through the whole value chain of agriculture, we can realize that there are lots of opportunities and challenges, and it has to do with how we sensitize our youth towards the whole concept of agriculture, that agriculture is not just farming. We see agriculture to be farming, putting the seed in the ground, cultivating and making sure it grows and then harvesting. But then there are lots of opportunities. Our MP made mention of somebody developing a solution to scare birds. Actually, from the space I work from KIC, we have a company right now who developed a very, very, very nice technology to scare birds and other insects. Yeah, I mean their name is AI Scarecrow. They were one of the winners of the challenge this year. Yeah, so then there are lots of opportunities. If you look at the production side, we have Complete Farmer doing a very amazing job over there. If you look at the finance space where I come from, or my company comes from, we have Codex us and then Invoice here. And then if you look at I mean there are a lot of opportunities. And then I think we should focus more on these opportunities and create solutions to solve the problems that we find in these spaces. Thank you very much.
All right, cool. Thank you very much, Eugene. So in essence, you are creating a bank and a training center for farmers, essentially.
Basically.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Eric, tell us about the future.
Yes, Eric, yeah. Very happy to be here. The future is not to be seen, but anyway, just to say that out of Denmark, so some part of my time I tried to make Denmark in something called sustainable innovation. I have allocated 1/3 of my time to sort of say help prosper growth Africa. So I'm on a pro bono basis here today, talking on behalf of the Afro Champions. And Afro Champions is a setup that has come about the last 2 years due to AU, the African Union, having asked the private sector to get something going. So in light of the African Continent Free Trade Agreement having come about, and we expecting that the ratification of the ACFT will be coming about first quarter next year, by at least 80% of the GDP, we believe that Nigeria will give in at the end, otherwise it's too stupid. Tanzania will come last as usual. So by mid of next year, we will have 80% at least of the GDP in Africa covered by the ACFTA. But one thing is the AU and the frame of the free trade agreement. One thing is to get it going. So the frame of respect. And to get things going, the AU top management has appointed 3 former presidents. The well-known, well-reputed, well-liked Obasanjo of Nigeria, the former president of Ethiopia, the former president of South Africa, for the 3 of them to get together to really get the private sector going when we talk infrastructure, because we all know it's infrastructure that is lacking, whether this is Wi-Fi connection or agriculture or bridges or roads or whatever. So these 3 are heading the Afro Champions. They have set aside a club, which is a kind of a PRPA lobbyism club headed by Aliko Dangote. So they'll be doing whatever that part of it to get things going. And as part of the work so far is that they're actually, we all sit down, they're actually now establishing a $1 trillion fund. And I can tell you that it's in the making. It's not foolish. So due to this commitment bound in the ACFTA coming along, and with these patrons, and with the whole commitment of Aliko Dangote and the others, there's now an Accenture pro bono fund being established of $1 trillion, and we believe most of it will be established in 2020. That's one part of it. It's just to say that whenever we make agriculture tech, maybe even make it sexy over time to attract the whole population, there will be funding coming whenever we want to grow it bigger and repeat it and copy it across Africa. My take on this thing is I've allocated my time to support the agri sector within this Afro Champions, and that's why I'm here today. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Eric. $1 trillion. Wow, that's a lot of money. When we're coming here, we discussed that we want all of you to leave here with like very concrete ideas. Like when you go to many agriculture panels, we all talk about the promise, and we often talk about like doing good, like saving, helping. But we have a lot of examples in this panel of people here who are creating value, generating wealth for farmers and for themselves in most cases. So I will get back to them again, like starting from Honorable. Please give us like very specific examples of how you are creating value in agriculture space and creating wealth, so that like people here can live with very specific ideas on how they could go, and do the same, because the pie is very big.
Hello. I think this one is becoming very specific. As I said, I'm a professional agribusiness developer. So with time, I decided to settle at Kintampo to help develop the mango value chain. And as at now, Kintampo mango has about 4,000 acres under production. Meanwhile, when I look at it, there are a lot of challenges like pests and disease, and the dangerous one is BBS, bacteria black spot. So what should I do to help farmers to get the quality and the yield? And a lady just said something about traceability, about the quality of food. If people are conscious of the quality of food they would like to consume. So I took it upon myself to help Kintampo mango to develop in terms of quality and yield. And by so doing, one challenge in agriculture is the marketing. If you produce and there's no market. So I have to make sure we get good quality food that can be purchased by top niche buyer like Blue Skies. And that is what we've done from 2009 up to now. That's 10 years on the line. And I'm pleased to inform the House that if you go to Kintampo or any mango growing area, a kilo of mango averagely is sold at 50 pesos per kilo. But those I've touched with Kintampo farmers, they are Agri, that's Kintampo Mango Farmers Association. If they send it to Blue Skies, it has multiplied by threefold. That Blue Skies is buying their mango at 1 CD, 50 pesos per kilo. That's if you sell it on the open market, if you don't have the quality. And the quality is not something that we cannot achieve. It's just a knowledge to tell them which chemical, especially the pesticide, to spray, the volume, that's the quantity you have to apply, and also the time, because most chemicals will break when you apply. But if you don't know, let's say if you are harvesting to Blue Skies and you spray a chemical that will break down within, let's say, 2 weeks, you just spray and you send it to Blue Skies, the lab will detect it and the whole fruit will be rejected. So it's a matter I'm doing for them is impacting the agronomic knowledge into the farmers there and making sure they produce quality mangoes and they are getting threefold. And I'm happy to announce that as my colleague has been awarded, Kintampo Mango as far back as 2008 was also adjudged one of the best in the world by the World Bank, and yours truly went there to receive the prize on behalf of the farmers.
Amazing.
So that's what we are doing. Kintampo, if you go there, there is a lot of cassava there that people are not getting bias. Former President Kufuor did a good job. The presidential initiative on cassava, Kintampo happened to be one of the multiplication centers. So it has established the cassava farms there. And what do we have to do, especially now that you are representing the good people of Kintampo? So we have to organize ladies, train them on how to prepare quality gari for the buffer stock. For the buffer stock to come to Kintampo to source gari, and last academic year, they sourced about 3,500 massive bags of gari. A bag was valued 140 Ghana cedis. So if you multiply that by 3,500, it's a huge investment that the farmers have gotten. And we've made the government to also establish what we call AMSEC, Agricultural Mechanization Service Center. Agricultural Mechanization Service Center, averagely, smallholder farmer cannot buy tractor, or they don't even need it. What they need is the tractor services, so that when they plow maybe 5 acres, they pay for it, not sitting with overhead. So Kintampo, we have AMSEC established there, where our farmers are now not using mostly the cutlass and hoe, but they are using tractor to improve the land development. And if you listen to the report, yield of maize, yield of rice has actually improved, and I was forced with my director to introduce combined harvesting system, because now our rice volumes have gone up, and unfortunately too, the Agri dam, they call the Burkina Faso Agri dam, when they opened, our portion also got flooded. So most of the rice valleys, as we speak now, is flooded.
Okay, if I may come in, so you're saying that if you want to generate wealth in agriculture, money, like, it's not in Accra. It's in the rural areas. Go to the rural areas, and then if you want to invest your money, I get a lot of people who come say, hey, I produce X amount of cocoa, vegetables, and I'm looking for a market. You have to first of all know your market first, know where you're trying to sell first, know what they want, the quality, quantity first, know the price before you put your savings into it. I just get too many of these calls and emails on social media, like, I have $10,000 I want to invest. I'm in Accra, I don't want to move into the village. If you want to watch your money move to the village, and then you also have to understand what the market wants as well. So just like to give opportunity to Francis to share as well. Francis, can you tell us how you are creating value today for your customers and how you are creating wealth for yourself and for the country?
I believe 3 years ago, if somebody had asked me why I moved into this space, I would have given them a political answer and said it was because of impact, it was because of SDGs, it was because of a whole lot of issues. But the real thing was why we moved into this space was, one, we saw an opportunity and we saw money. So it would interest you to know that Aliko Dangote started off his riches being a commodities trader. He was trading in flour, sugar, maize, etc. He started as a commodities trader and then moved on to other services, adding cement, etc. As Honorable mentioned, the opportunities where the wealth is, where the wealth creation is in the rural areas where you get your hands dirty. We've had the opportunity of working with very large institutions. So our largest client is Guinness. I'm sure. So what people drink, Star, malts, all those. So if you drink any of that, chances are that you are drinking maize, sorghum from our farmers who supply to them. Currently, we supply close to about 20% of Guinness's total production volume. Last year alone, Guinness was looking at doing a total of close to about 55,000 metric tons of maize, sorghum for production. This year, the number has jumped up because Guinness has opened up a new production line in Kumasi. They've added a new beer called Adishebe. Those from the Kumasi regions, you know there's a new beer called Adishebe that's made entirely from sorghum. Where do they solve this sorghum for? So this big institution, if you take Nestle, for example, if you look at Cerelac, they source the maize, they source the wheat, they source even the millets locally. Where do they get it from? From the smallholder farmers. There's a conscious drive from these large institutions, so FMCGs, breweries, etc. They are moving to a space what we call responsible sourcing. So these are large multinational organizations who have been in Ghana for a very long time. In the past, what they used to do was Guinness would just import barley from South Africa for production. They didn't really care about what the farmers were going through. Now, this, as part of what we call most of their CSR, is now to be able to source locally wherever they produce. So you find Guinness's 10-year plan is to source, so in the next 10 years, Guinness is looking at about 99% sourcing locally. What does that mean? That's a big opportunity. If you are looking in excess of 150,000 metric tons, those are street value of in excess of millions of dollars, and that wealth can be found here in Ghana. So that how we are creating wealth for the farmers is in twofold. We look at how we can improve the financial livelihood of smallholder farmers. These are farmers who've been producing for over many years now. What they mainly do is, because there's no access to a structured market to sell, what they mainly do is they sell to middlemen. So the middlemen can be you, can be your mother who has been at Agbogloshi for a very long time. It could be your auntie who goes to the rural areas to buy commodities at cutthroat prices from the farmers. So what they do is they go to the communities. When it's harvest and they carry a lot of money on them, yes, it's more of the show me the money concept. So what they do is they go to the farmers and say, oh, I want to buy your bag of maize. Then the farmer says the bag of maize is 90 cedis based on some of this good information I've received from Farmer Line, etc. That a sack of maize is 90 cedis. Then they tell you, okay, then take it to the market and sell yourself. The farmer cannot do that because they don't have the means to transport. And trust me, in the rural areas, the proximity of the community to the market sometimes about 40 kilometers. They have to put this in on Aboboya, these motorkins, send it to the market. They stay there from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. If nobody buys, they have to bring it back to the community again. That's a lot of money going. So they say, okay, I'll buy it at, let's say, 50 cedis. That's give or take. So the farmer says, okay, I need money, so just give it to me. Over the years, they've been exploiting farmers over and over. Annually, most farmers lose close to $250 million in exploitative buying alone in Ghana. That's a lot of money that goes into from not trading fairly. So what we've done is to build a market that connects these farmers directly to these big institutions. So what we do is we approach these big guys and say, hey, you don't need to source all these things from other countries. We can help you get them locally. We have a network of farmers that you can buy from. Then we take what we call a demand contract. We sign a contract with them for a minimum 12 months and say, on a monthly basis, we are going to supply you this to make sure that you increase your production. Then we go to our farmers and say, hey, we found a market for you. Now we are going to sell at fair market price. You don't need to worry about this middleman. All you need to now do is to go through the right planting protocols, harvest, make sure you meet the standard, and then you sell. So some of the farmers who were actually, before they joined Agro Center, they were most of them were doing about an acre. They were just harvesting between 0.5 metric, that's between 5 Maximally, some of them got even 5-6 bags. They were not using the right seeds, right fertilizers, even the right agricultural practices. After joining, now most of them have been moved from 1 acre to even 2 to 3 acres. The plan is to now increase them to 10, 15, 20, because the land is there. The land is not a problem, trust me. If you go to some of these rural areas, you can go there and say, I want to rent a land. They'll give it to you as cheap as even 100 cedis per acre, even 200 cedis per acre, because they need people to work there, and you are going to create wealth in those communities. Cool. So yes, technically there's a lot of opportunities, there's a lot of wealth at the rural communities, and then we need to tap into that to create value for the country also.
There's more money to be made, Francis. Thank you so much for sharing. Eric, how are you going to help us like create more wealth through what you're working on?
Could I ask the slide to be on, please? Can we maybe take one question from the audience for me while I prepare my answer?
Yeah.
Do you have a question for me while we just prepare the slide?
Yeah, that'll be.
It's a concept that we worked on and has been proven in Mozambique, and it's something I would like to take into the Afro Champions for the agri sector. This is the thing about taking the stand in the smallholdership that we know so well, but also looking at the smallholdership being a medium enterprise. So we are of the conviction that to grow the agri bigger, you also have to take the advantage of economies of scale. Don't think Aliko Dangote like, but just think going bigger, like going from the 1 acre to 2 or 3 hectare. So the concept of ours is that either informally you team up, smallholder by smallholders, but even further, it's better that you team up as a kind of investment. And yes, we're talking $2 million, but money may be found. So within a certain investment, you have, say, 100 to 200 growers, smallholders along. They're guarded and they're gated, so it's one community. I wouldn't like to call it cooperative because I think a cooperative have a wrong concept also in Africa. But it's a community you build where you have 100 to 200 smallholders working together. And when you stand together like that, you have the input advantage. You'll see the seed companies coming on their knees, wanting to supply you. So suddenly the suppliers are wanting you and you're not wanting them. Even better on the output side, you'll see the KFCs, the ShopRite, wanting to deal with you because you're not representing 1 or 2 smallholders, but you're representing 100 hectares and 100 smallholders. So the whole battle of pricing, as you've discussed, they will even pay more than 1.5 cedi for the mango per kilogram, I think, because you're representing such a continuous, reliable quality and quantity. So rolling this out, what does it make to agriculture? The entrepreneurs, the smallholders coming in there will be seeing this thing about standing shoulder to shoulder with others, with peers. You're not alone, you're together. We all buy a tractor together. We all have a value-adding whatever tomato packing system in there, so we all can stand better united and get the economies of scale of being bigger there, and actually all investments make more sense. At the end of the day, when setting this up, it's a profit sharing scheme. The one who invests will have their profit. Each entrepreneur, each youngster will have their own profit of the whole sale. So they have their own balance sheet, their own top, their own bottom line. If you can go back on the slide, please. So they will see every month the profit coming to their account. And that we do to show that the motivation is there. The profit is there to be seen every month. Whatever they put in of effort, they will see coming out on the bottom line as profit, with money ending on their bank account. And to sum it up, to wrap it all up, I would say this way, that we do this via an app, so that any day in the morning, every afternoon in the coffee bar, every day in the evening with the family, they can follow their business and they can show their peers, their friends, that this agri is actually quite checky, sexy. I have a business now on my digital platform. It's rolling and it's giving money on my bank account. It's not something fluffy, inferior subsistence. It's a real business. I think that's the way forward. Summing up what a lot of you are saying, it's maybe not the cast in stone, but it's a way forward to go along this and having incubation as a core thing in this progression.
All right, cool, thank you. We wish you come to Ghana very soon. So we open the floor for questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Is there a mic around, or people can just talk? All right, cool, there's a mic. Right, okay, there's one mic here. All right, cool, so please give us your question.
All right, my name is Amos, and
from what he was saying, I would say he's a minister for food. Yeah, because he seems to know much about it.
Now, he was talking about these black spots on mangoes, right? And then he was thinking about how to find a solution. Just last year, I was able to go to Suffolk and Tankers, our own Suffolk and Tankers farm. Now, basically, anything that he produces is so natural. You don't have to think about it going to affect the fruit or whatever you're doing. And I was able to witness some of his stuff that he used in treating some of these diseases on mangoes or in fruits. And it works so perfectly without thinking of it going to spoil the soil or degrade it and stuff. So why are we not linking up to him and then finding lasting solutions other than importing these chemicals that become toxic at the end of the day to our food and ourselves? Because I find it wondering. The solution is right on our nose, and yet we're wondering what we should do. And it's so sad. So, Honorable, what are we doing about it?
All right, cool. So you're saying that there's an opportunity for him to work with Suffolk and Tanker to source fertilizer from him. That's your recommendation?
No, pesticide.
Pesticide from him.
Yes.
That's your recommendation, right? Or
Yes. I want to know why it's been there, but it's not being implemented.
All right, cool. Do you wanna? Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I think this information you've shared with me is something worth considering. Actually, because of these challenges, just 13th of this month, I was involved. We formed the Ghana National Mango Association. And these are some of the linkages we want to establish. And you know, agriculture, we have the PPRSD, that's Plant Protection and Regulatory Service of MOFA. They are actually responsible. They need to certify some of these chemicals before you can use. So now that you've given me the link, I will forward it to the appropriate ministry and we'll follow up on it and ensure that it can be certified, calibrated by Ghana Standard Authority in conjunction with PPRSD. Then farmers will use it. If possible, we can patent it and it will become a commercial entity for Ghana mango industry. So thank you for the information. I'll follow up on it. Thank you.
All right, thanks for the question. Any more questions?
Yeah. Good morning. My name is Joseph. I'm with Trustee Farm Limited. We are bringing insight into what consumers eat. My question is to Honorable MP, please. It's not a question, but I want to bring your mind to something. Because of our line of business, we happen to see what goes on in the value chain. One problem we've realized is that indeed there's money in the hinterlands or the rural communities, but access to the farms, the roads, they are very bad. A distance from like Circle to Agri can cost you about 20 cedis if that's where your farm is located. And when rain falls, if you like, you double the amount for the transport or the commuter, he won't go anyway. So this is a challenge, getting access to the produce from the rural place. So, Honorable, please, when you are in Parliament, please bring our leaders' attention to the fact that flyovers in Accra is important, but the farmers also need their own flyovers. Secondly, the world is going towards the era of urban farming. And so if I'm an entrepreneur in Accra and I want to access land, I want to do hydroponics, or I want a space to come with an innovative, maybe a feed yourself program of a sort, how much do I need to start? In the hinterlands or the rural areas, I can get an acre of land for 100 cedis. But compared to the cities, like Accra, it will be 200 times, 400 times, or even more, that amount. So this is a challenge. Okay, this is a challenge. So please bring your mind to these things. It's important and to help agriculture in the wrong way. Thank you.
All right, cool. Thanks for your recommendation again. Is there room for more questions? Do you have more questions? All right, cool. Here you go. Yeah, questions here. So the mic, there's someone here, please. Please ring the mic. Let's keep the questions short so that we can make room for more people to ask questions.
Okay, hello. My name is Anne from African Science Academy. So my question is to Codex, Agro Center, and even you, Aloysius. So my question is, we see a lot of agri-tech solutions, and we only see it when they are spaces like this, so there are conversations like this, or when we go for a conference and it's an agri panel, that's when we hear of it. But is there, do you as agri-tech solution companies have like an organization where you work together or you partner together, because you are all doing like your own things in your various spots, but there are about, let's say, 20 of you, and then there's the whole of Ghana. So how does the average Ghanaian hear about all of the agri solutions that you are producing, and how can we get involved? Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if you want me to. Okay, cool. She answered that. All right, cool. So I think the sector is still very early. Like, so I think what you said, the recommendation of we coming together is very important, because there are 4 million farmers in Ghana, and none of us have actually saved about 300,000 yet. So, we are still very early. About people knowing about us, I think that like for us, we invest a lot of our money into ensuring that our customers know us. So we have 250 agents on the ground. They all have smartphones, tablets, and we do about 20 workshops a week, just to like build brand loyalty and also collect a lot of data on farmers in your community so that we can serve them. So our clients do know about us. If you go to Ashanti region, you go to Agona, all those places, they know like Farmerline very well. You see our trucks driving by, our motorbikes everywhere. So they do. Like, we are not known in Accra, we don't have billboards here because there are no farmers here. And then we don't target any farmer here. So that's just because of that. But yeah, the idea of forming like a coalition so that we can influence policy and have a bigger voice is welcome, and thanks for sharing that. And how you can be involved? Yeah, we need more, like some of the things that you presented, like the experiments. We realized that for us to make any change that lasts, we need to approach everything with an experiment, a learning mindset. We run a lot of experiments, and we focus very heavily on cost reduction. And as Francis might attest to, it costs a lot of money to deliver products to farmers and take products from them. And all you have to work with is your gross margin or gross profit. So every time we are running a lot of experiments on the site to try and figure out how we can make more impact, how we can make our solutions more easy, but then also reducing costs so that we can reach a lot of farmers, so that we can have a sustainable food system. So if you're a researcher here and you're interested in learning about how to combine technology and old school methods of training farmers and stuff like that to make impact, reduce costs, I'm down to work with you, to make that happen. So let's talk after that. I'll be very happy to work with you. All right, more questions. Please give us more questions. All right. There's one more. Sorry. On the road. Okay. The minister wants to talk about the road, but let's take one last question.
My
No.
brother who asked something about the road, I would like to assure him we are aware of it. I think the road minister is the minister who has answered a lot of questions on the floor of Parliament. But the issue is more of a national dimension or even a political dimension. It's either as a country we decide to go for the infrastructure intervention or the consumption intervention. Because when the minister answers every question, there is a sentence we all know, he will end with it, subjected to availability of funds. As a country, we are consuming more of our funds on consumption. So we are now trying to see where we can get something for infrastructure development, and I hope people are aware of the almighty Sino Hydro. So let's hope this year we can get some of our road fixed. Cocoa roads is one thing which was in the rural area. It became a political animal. It was suspended somehow. But with this budget, God willing, some payment has been done to the previous contractors, and I'm on the committee of food and agriculture. Cocoa board has provided about 400 or something million to continue with the cocoa roads, which is predominantly agricultural road. And let me assure him, this time round, we are telling them not to do it like the dusty road. Is going to be at least bituminous surface. So we want to push some of the budget into infrastructure. So we'll cut down on the social giveaways as a country. Thank you.
All right, cool. So last question. All right, last question.
Hello, my name is Makafi. I am from African Science Academy. My question is for the Honorable. Yes. If I'm not mistaken, you said you make sure Ghana legalize mango as a product of exportation or something like that?
Okay.
Yes, I want to know some of the action you have been taking towards this goal and how you make sure it will happen.
I said from here, I'm just dashing to the Parliament House to make a case that there is going to be, we are going to pass a bill. It's called the Three Crop Development Authority Bill. And mango has been left out as not one of the crops that is not going to be covered by that authority. And Kwesi Etubondi have put in amendment. That's when we are doing the lawmaking, that mango should be added to it. Is by making sure there is a column in the bill called definition. At the definition end, that's where we define what is tree crop in Ghana. For now, the bill is talking about cashew, rubber, oil palm, and shea. Mango has not been mentioned. So as people representative of Kintampo North, where mango, I said we have about 4,000 acres. This is the time I have to stand in for my people to make sure they also benefit from that bill by making sure mango will be included in the Tree Crop Development Authority. I've actually filed that amendment and I have to defend it on the floor of Parliament today when that amendment is moved, or that motion, we call it consideration stage. So we are the consideration stage when we finish third reading. So I have to go and make a good case for Ghana mango, then the House will vote with 2/3 majority will accept that they should add my amendment to the bill. So that's how we do it. Thank you.
All right, cool. So just to end everything very quickly, some quick things for you to walk away with. These are all not wishful thinking. This is happening right now. Who knows Cargill? Cargill makes about $115 billion a year in revenue, and that's more than the GDP of Ghana and Kenya combined, right? So, and this company sourced from the continent, Ghana and many other countries, and like, you know, we can be able to, like somebody mentioned today, that this is a great time to be alive. This is a great time to be African. It is possible for us to achieve these dreams in our lifetime, to create wealth for ourselves, create wealth for our continent, and create wealth for our countries. So let's get to work. Let's use these guys as inspiration, and let's go to the bush. Let's till the land. Let's process what is coming from the farmers, and let's make more money for our continent. Thank you very much.